Inevitably, a long life can pass by many milestones. My own is no exception.
Queen Elizabeth II was Britain's longest reigning monarch. She had 70 years on the throne, and I think that alone is worth celebrating. Elizabeth II was not just Queen of the United Kingdom, she was Queen of the 14th Commonwealth realms, and that includes Australia. She was also head of the Commonwealth, and it was a role that Her Majesty took very seriously, and she really enjoyed it too. The Queen's impact on the Commonwealth was shown by her visits to Australia. She really took the time to meet ordinary Australians, and the Queen was the most well-travelled monarch in history, and she did nearly 300 state visits. That is extraordinary.
I saw her in England once, but it was very brief.
That's so special.
Yeah, it was very special.
Luckily, we were just standing up in the queue waiting for her, and she came and smiled. It was lovely, very nice.
When I was a little boy, she came to Cessnock Showground and did the rounds. And it was terrific. I think I may have disgraced myself at the time.
Australians will always have an affection for Queen Elizabeth II, even now she is no longer with us. The late monarch visited Australia 16 times during her record-breaking reign. That's a lot of visits, and throughout the Queen's royal tours of Australia, she forged an incredibly strong bond with Australians of all walks of life, of all ages, and I think people have so many fond memories of her time here. From her first visit back in 1954, when she made history by becoming the first reigning monarch to visit Australia, to the last time in 2011, the Queen has been here so many times. And I think Australia's long relationship with the British royal family today is there, and it's so strong because of Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth, she was the queen of all queens for so many, and also for so many of us, she's the only monarch that we have known. But I think there's also the grandmother aspect. Queen Elizabeth was very much a comforting presence through the good times and the bad, and she was a constant presence for so many. You might remember that emotional call to arms Her Majesty did during the coronavirus pandemic. It was known as her "We Will Meet Again" speech, and it was so emotional and really gave people a lot of comfort during the very worst of lockdowns, and she really tried to reassure the public that things will get better again, and we all will be able to go out and celebrate again. That will sort of stick with me as one of her most significant moments of her reign, and really I know it brought a tear to many people's eyes.
We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
The Queen worked until the very end. She was photographed at Balmoral Castle just 2 days before her death, and I think she was 96, 97 when she passed away, and that for a normal person is extraordinary to be working for so long. That strong work ethic really did resonate with a lot of people, even if you aren't necessarily a fan or a follower of the royal family. The Queen was very famous for her never complain, never explain attitude, and I think that mantra or that attitude is something that resonated with a lot of people, and it was a mantra that she deployed many times throughout her reign when there were many challenges, and there were many challenges during the Queen's reign. And I think that attitude has been carried on by the Prince and Princess of Wales. They have chosen to keep a dignified silence when there have been many things that they could comment on, unlike some of the other non-working members of the royal family. Royals really don't have any real power, but where they can make a difference is through soft diplomacy, and Queen Elizabeth II was the master of this. She was deployed so many times throughout her reign to deal with politicians in a way no one else could, and I think she did have a lasting impact in some of the world's biggest issues. I think the Queen also was quite fun. I mean, she came across as a very serious figure, but there were moments where she showed a different side of herself during the London Olympics, where she parachuted in from a helicopter, using a body double, of course. But I think there were also a few moments with Prince Harry regarding the Invictus Games and also Paddington Bear just to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee. And I think those moments really do stick with people when we look back at her incredible life.
Now, don't be too miserable, I know.
Ow, it's my foot you're standing on.
Look, she dressed and groomed well. She always was well-mannered in public. She seemed to have a caring attitude. So she set a good example, I think, in general to everyone.
The Queen was like a respectable lady and someone you could look up to. I think it was very divided. You either really liked her or didn't like her at all.
I think I might just put a knife in
I think that's a really good idea.
Her stoicism and honesty and regalness sort of thing, how she carried herself and how she spoke to the people. She was magnificent. Magnificent.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister of Canada, for making me feel so old.
She was a very special lady, and I think she was good for the world.
Very strong queen too. We lost her. Monarchy is not the same in England at the moment. I don't think so. No.
Being in London immediately after the Queen passed away was a moment I will never forget. It was 2 weeks of just craziness from the perspective of a royal reporter, but also just trying to be a member of the public, really. You were in mourning with everyone else, but it wasn't a sad time. It was a time of celebration, and everywhere you went, there were just photographs of the Queen, photographs of corgis, just everything connected with Her Majesty. And it was really, really lovely to see an entire country come together to celebrate this one woman who had done so much for the nation, done so much for the Commonwealth. She had committed her whole life to service, and to be there to say goodbye to her in a way was really, really special, and it still gives me goosebumps thinking about it. I think you have a bit of distance between yourself and the Queen. Obviously, we are not friends with the Queen. She's the Queen. She was the Queen. But being in London when she died and in the 2 weeks after, it was quite emotional. And I think personally, I kept it together the whole time. You have to be professional. But I was able to go into Westminster Abbey a couple of days after Her Majesty's funeral, and there was a photograph of her at the very, I guess at the altar. It was a photograph of her, and all the flowers from her funeral were still in place. They hadn't been taken down. And to smell those flowers, to see the photo of the Queen, and to be in the Abbey where she was farewelled, it was really emotional. And I think that's when it sort of all caught up, and I thought, oh, you know, it is very, very sad that she's gone, but also very exciting for the royal family as a whole that we look to a new generation under King Charles III. But I think the Queen's reign was largely a successful one, and as we get to celebrate her centenary, there are new books coming out. There's that extraordinary fashion exhibition of all her clothing, and I think these things are really showing a new side to the Queen, perhaps that we didn't know about, and revealing things that had been kept hidden for so long. The King and members of the royal family, they are going to be out and about celebrating what would have been her 100th birthday, and I think that is something that a lot of us royal watchers want to see. We want to see the King pay tribute. I think for the average person, you wouldn't necessarily think about celebrating the Queen's 100th birthday, but when all these events are presented in front of us, it really makes you stop and think, wow, you know, she was an amazing woman and she did so much throughout her reign. And even now, it's hard to imagine that she's not on the throne. We have King Charles, but I think it is really, I guess, heartwarming to see the Queen's son and her other relatives carrying on her legacy and her work. And I think it's important to celebrate her centenary.